get a first look at the stars of the Beatles biopic as the Fab Four. As the Fab Four? Is that what they were really called? I mean, it's a silly name. The long-awaited casting, ladies and gentlemen, for Sam Mendes' ambitious Beatles biopic project is finally coming into focus. We finally are getting a first glimpse at these actors that are stepping into the roles of these legendary Chelsea boot wearers. I can't wait. It's what's it called? I thought it was going to be one movie. I thought it was going to be like an epic tale of maybe their rise to starting their first album, and then maybe you could do another movie, and you could maybe, if you really wanted to draw it out, you can do like 4, maybe 5, covering the entirety of their career, or maybe up until one of them or two of them die. You know what I mean? Whatever you plan to do with the project, it's not going to be that. It's going to be like a massive 4-film undertaking. They're doing like 4 with each installment told from a different perspective from each band member. The challenge that they had was finding an actor for each. They wanted to capture the very unique look that all of them have. The Beatles are one of my favorite bands of all time. They mean so much to me in my heart. I grew up listening to them. It was like mandatory music for me in my household growing up. I loved the Beatles. I enjoyed their earlier work all the way through when they tried that one little substance that fucked them up and really. It sent him on a few different trails, and then I went through the annoying period with Yoko, and then the breakup era, and then you watched John Lennon eat it, and then you watched George Harrison die in 9/11, but not really, and then Ringo and McCartney, they're doing whatever now. Ringo is probably out there saving the world, I don't know, and Paul McCartney's doing shows in Vegas and saying live and let die and blowing up the stage. It's a beautiful end for all of them in many ways because they all, they took on many different roles in this life, and I'm worried because I've seen the casting, I've seen the people that they've thrown into these roles, and they just do not fit. The faces are fucky. They don't make me feel comfortable. I'm unnerved when I see these actors. Let's just go one at a time, and I'll break them down for you. Leading the charge, we have John Lennon, of course, being played by Harris Dickinson. He was known for The Iron Claw, Where the Crawdads Sing, Beach Rats, Triangle of Sadness, Urchin, Baby Girl. His nose is not right for John Lennon. His nose is improper for John Lennon. John Lennon, I don't know if it was he had such a peculiar hook to his nose, but it was also not a big nose. I don't know if it was because he broke it or something. Or my Beatles knowledge, I must admit, it's not perfect. I know that he broke it maybe once or twice. I don't remember. But let's move on. Paul McCartney, my favorite Beatle, personally. Everyone's favorite Beatle because he's the most talented. By far, it's not debatable. Paul McCartney is the most talented. He was the heart of the group. John Lennon was kind of the slacky member with everybody else. He was kind of the one that didn't really take charge. He was not really the leader the way that a lot of people like to portray him. Paul McCartney was more so the workaholic. He was more so the one that kind of drove the group and forward in many ways. But he's being played by Paul Mescal. Paul Mescal is probably the most accurate looking one. I won't have any major complaints about him except for you only look like Paul McCartney at one angle, so they're gonna have to shoot you at that one angle the whole movie, or all 4 movies, excuse me. Okay, so Paul Mescal in general, I also think that his cheekbones are too full for Paul McCartney. I just have very particular minor critiques about him, but whatever, he's probably the best looking one. They got Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things and Gladiator 2 set to play George Harrison. No, not even a bit, not the tiniest bit. Actually, a really terrible choice. Eddie, baby, I just saw Steve from Stranger Things cannot pull off I'm sorry, there was a Grimace factor, there was a Bad Boy factor, there was a Murdoch from the Gorillaz factor that I think, his strong brow, there's so many distinct qualities. I see so many average people walking down the street. I see homeless people that look more like George Harrison than this actor. It's kind of a ridiculous choice, and they only picked him because he's a big actor right now. He was in Fantastic Four. He's gonna be in Marvel's Doomsday. It's not gonna be good. I promise you that. Meanwhile, they got Barry Keoghan stepping in as Ringo Starr. He broke up with Sabrina Carpenter, and ever since, I have not liked him very much. He's also set to play the Joker in what's it called, the Matt Reeves Batman universe, or at least he did play him in a scene that they removed from the first movie. I'm not a big fan of this choice either. In all honesty, hey, I was talking. I'm this clip that the entertainment whatever the division wants to get going. I'm not done with my take about Barry Keoghan. He's a fine enough actor. I just don't think that he looks very much like Ringo Starr. His nose is correct because it's very oblong and large, but that's about it. Okay, today you can finally talk.
All right, a little sneak peek for you on this Friday. We're going to roll it out. It's been kind of a slow rollout for this new Beatles movie that's coming up. There's going to be 4 individual films directed by Sam Mendes, each about all 4 members of the Beatles. The cast.
Stupid idea to split this up into 4 movies. By the way, the Paul McCartney movie is going to make the most. It's going to make $2 billion. The John Lennon one, maybe you'll make half of what the Paul McCartney one does. John Lennon is just not as big. People know he beat on his wife. He was a bad person, and he just liked to make songs that made people feel good, and that's about all that was good about him. And he honestly, it didn't have any redeeming qualities besides the fact that he liked marijuana. That's about it. And he is going to make about half, but he's just as famous as Paul McCartney, so he will make about half that his movie does, but it'll be boycotted by woke people and people that just in general realize that he was about half as talented also as Paul McCartney. George Harrison will make none. I'm sorry, he is the least important Beatle from any standpoint, regardless. I don't care. He joined the Traveling Wilburys. I don't give a shit. No one knows about that, especially of my generation. No one is listening to At the End of the Line. No one's listening to that. No one's doing that shit anymore. I'm sorry. The only person relevant from that group anymore is Bob Dylan. Tom Petty's dead. You guys, your generation is dying out. Their music's dying out. No one's listening to it. You guys are getting old. Your favorite musicians are dying. It sucks. I'm experiencing it too, and I hate it. It's a fact of life, but it's something we can't avoid. And we cannot avoid it by making 4 individual biopics. Ringo's is gonna make more than George Harrison. I'm sorry. George Harrison, he will be confined to the annals of history. Ringo is the most memorable. He's the 3rd most memorable. A lot of people like to say Ringo's the least favorite Beatle. No, George Harrison is the least favorite Beatle. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. He doesn't have the bad boy motif wore off after the 1960, maybe 67-ish, you know what I mean? After he joined them in that sort of psychedelic movement and whatnot, it was just like, oh, here's another weirdo with long hair. And then that whole cool mystic shit kind of wore off, and then he died at 9/11, but everybody thought that he was in the towers or something, but no, he got sick in 2001 or something like that. This is no rant against George Harrison. I think that he's incredibly talented. I love Something in the Way She Moves. I don't even remember it properly because it's like, don't want to leave it now, you know I'm leaving how. That one's fine. That one's, okay. I think that's George Harrison. At least he's the one that plastered his face all over the music video. You're asking me, will my love grow? I don't know. Yeah, that's him. I'm pretty sure.
This will be Harris Dickinson, Paul Mescal, Barry Keoghan, and Joseph Quinn.
Look at this lineup of goons. This looks like a lineup of. I'm sorry to say it. This looks like guys that steal handbags from people in London.
John, Paul, Ringo, and George. Now, the latest sneak peek from Sony Pictures dropped just yesterday with a series of these postcards popping up all over the world. They reveal the boys in full character. Fans online posting pictures from Liverpool, Hamburg, and here in New York. But we're going to be waiting a long time until we actually see them all on the big screen. All 4 films aren't expected to be released until April of 2028.
Oh, that is a sneak peek.
That's a very early sneak peek.
Just in time for the Summer Olympics in LA.
That's right.
Very fun. I mean, if you really, really do want a good Beatles biopic, or if you want something that's good and informs you about their history, you're not going to get any bullshit, like how biopics normally fill it with bullshit, like how oh, Elton John was just beaten down by life, when really you watch that movie and you look at his life and it's like, wow, a lot of his problems were pretty self-made in regards to the drugs and whatnot, but whatever. And same as Freddie Mercury and whatnot, but like a lot of these music stars, a lot of their problems are self-made, but whatever. It's anthology. Beatles anthology is exactly what you should go for. I'm gonna leave the trailer in the description, but I'm also gonna play it for you right here.
1, 2, 3,
I met Paul, said you want to join me band,
You want to join me, band?
and George joined, and then Ringo joined.
The Beatles were always a great little band.
The anthology is as much of the history of the Beatles that we can get. We've heard it from everybody else, now you can hear it from us. You know, everybody got into the mania.
Got into the mania.
The demand on us was tremendous.
Yeah, these were just goofy guys with long hair, and we hadn't seen it before.
Just getting all blended.
here are the Beatles!
We played Shea Stadium twice. I thought we only played there once. How was it?
The Beatles were bigger.
The Beatles.
We never had much privacy. Everybody said, oh, there's more people here than came to see the Queen. I should think so. She didn't have any hit records.
Oh, true.
Find someone you can play music with. That's a very special thing.
Fully remastered for the first
All our
time.
lives, we meant more to kids than Jesus did. Once they built you up, all they can do is knock you down again.
So they're getting death threats.
We're going to stop this performance. Take your Beatle records and your paraphernalia and turn them in this week. Honestly, aren't the Beatles on their way out?
I don't think so. I think they're still strong.
They will always be strong.
We'd all had enough time to breathe.
Listen, no matter what you think of the Beatles, you might not like the Beatles. Your favorite artist does.
Had the opportunity to get together in a new light. Paul asked Yoko, was there anything of John's that we could work with? And she said, I've got a tape.
So we went in the studio. Doing the anthology, John was actually in the headphones while I was singing. It was like the old days.
Oh, one of their best
Wish they last
ones.
forever. They could bring happiness to everybody.
Everything we did for good. It always goes back to the music.
We love to pig out on the finer things in life, and we like to make music about our feelings. That's what the Beatles were. A lot of people don't like to boil it down to its core elements. That's what the Beatles were. They were every boy band. And they should have been dead in a season. They should have been big one summer, and then they should have died out maybe like after a couple albums. They managed to turn what was a brief like summer of hits or whatever into a fucking decade spanning career that defines music up until today. That pioneered whatever you would like to say. They have sound mechanics that they themselves originally began to do, like the voice layering mechanics that what they started to do on Revolver. All those sorts of things that you can credit to them. Deeply talented as artists, maybe very flawed as individuals, some of them, but you gotta credit them as they were prima inter pares. They were the first among equals. That's and you always have to credit them with that, which is why they're worthy of a goddamn good biopic. So just go watch Anthology.
Love we have for each other. The Beatles exist without us. We'll go on and on in people's memories or minds.
Beatles Anthology. Go watch it. It's on Disney Plus. It's worthy of it. It's worthy of your attention. It's true, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? I'm not gonna slander this biopic anymore. It has until 2028 to get it right. Who knows? So I'm gonna reserve my opinions until then. I'm just a Beatles fan who wants something decent from a movie that's gonna tell their story. That's it. And I think that's what any decent Beatles fan wants to. Folks,